the final question I'm going to ask this evening is this. You got movies like Terminator 2, Empire Strikes Back, Dark Knight, you know, let's see, Rambo 2, you know, a bunch of Back to the Future 2, a bunch of sequels, you know, but rarely are sequels better than the first. You know, that's very rare situation. I think most people would, the consensus would be that most sequels don't live up to the hype. What is some of y'all's favorite sequels? Like, what do you think the best sequel is to a movie? I'm going to just start off really fast. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm going to just say, I do think Empire Strikes Back, Dark Knight, Terminator 2, those are three ones that I can automatically think of. I have a couple more, but I'd like to hear some of y'all's though. Some of your favorite sequels. Some of your favorite sequels in cinema history.
Godfather 2.
I go first? Oh, sorry.
Oh, Mike says Godfather 2. Before I go to you, Ben Ray, Godfather 2 is definitely top 5 best sequels of all time. It takes what Godfather did. I'm not gonna say it made it better, Mike, but it definitely, I mean, because it came from a whole other angle. Like it came from a whole other angle. It's like it starts off with him in Italy and him coming up, and then, oh man, you see Michael get smarter and take over. Billy, have you ever seen any of the Godfather films?
I've seen the original one, and it's been several years.
I recommend anybody take the time to watch at least the first two. The third one's not bad. The third was not bad, but Mike's face, Mike's hey, it's got Andy Garcia in it, man. It's got Andy Garcia. Hey, so Mike says Godfather 2. That could be the King sequel. Mr. Ray, what you got up, bro? What you got up?
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit biased for a few reasons, but Back to the Future 2 is literally one of my favorite films of all time. I collect stuff from it. Literally, I ordered the Pepsi Perfect. I got the newspaper from the USA Today, where they had Marty McFly Jr. on the cover. They had a Comic-Con last year, 2 years ago, for everybody here in Orlando, where they did a reunion for the Back to the Future.
They did. That was the last MegaCon. That was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah, he was there. Leah Thompson was there. Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. So y'all go to MegaCon. That's awesome, man. I was looking forward to MegaCon this year so much, but it is what it is.
No, we enjoyed Dragon Con way better. Dragon Con awesome.
You think Dragon Con's better than MegaCon?
It was amazing.
Wow,
Dragon
that's another
Con
question
also,
for another time. That's another question
Dragon
for another
Con
time.
was also her first con. She's been to a few mini ones after that, but Dragon Con was her first time experience. So
Nothing like your first con. Ain't nothing like the first kind. Ain't nothing like the first kind, man. I mean, the first one is definitely the as they call the cherry popper. The cherry popper is definitely, you know, the one you remember the most if it's a good experience. So Dragon Con is awesome. Dragon Con's just too big. It's too much. It's just too much for me. I'm like, and it's so compressed. You feel like I'm walking on people like this. Like you know, but Dragon Con is amazing. I'm not gonna front. But Bill, so Back to the Future 2, Godfather 2. Billy, what you got some of your favorite sequels, man? What do you think some of the better sequels are?
Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3.
Wow. You think both of those movies surpassed the first and the second?
Well, Toy Story 3 especially.
Okay.
Toy Story 3, I think, but Toy Story 2 is a good sequel, but Toy Story 3 is just like, it's so good. Toy Story 4, not so much. Toy Story 4 was completely unnecessary, in my opinion, but yeah, definitely Toy Story 3.
Is Toy Story 4 the last one that came out?
Yeah, it came out, I think, last year.
That was
the
most recent one, right?
The most recent one, yeah. Toy Story 3 came out like 10 years ago.
I still have not watched 4. Now, is 3 the one with the bear and they go to the daycare and the bear ends up being a dick? Oh my goodness, that movie is messed up, man. You're right. That is a good movie.
It's surprisingly dark, yeah.
That movie's dark. That bear is
Toy Story. Toy Story 4 was just completely.
Can I throw in an honorable mention?
Honorable mention, Ray. What is it, brother?
Aliens by far. Alien is good, but Aliens, with I can't get enough of that movie.
They're two different movies. Alien is a horror movie. Aliens is an action movie. It's like they're two different movies. You can tell which one James Cameron did. He's Mr. Action. That's tough, man. It's kind of like T2 and T1. Billy, I'm about to go back to your Toy Story thing too. It's like Terminator 1 and 2. they're both great, but for different reasons. You know, like Terminator 1 is scary and Terminator 2 is action. It's like they're just different movies. But Billy, so you're talking about Toy Story 4. Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I 3 is evil and creepy.
Three was very good, but four was just completely and utterly unnecessary because three ended it perfectly, had like such a perfect ending, and then four just did away with it all.
Okay. Okay, so Toy
So,
Story 3 or Toy Story 4 unnecessary. Good to know. Hillary, Miss Hillary, what is your favorite sequel? Like one that you what do you think a good sequel is? You shook your head, you nodded your head when Billy said the Toy Story one, so I know you
Yeah,
concur.
I was gonna say that because 3 was awesome. I love the darkness of it.
It's super dark. It's super dark,
Um,
man.
I was gonna say I really liked was it the Wolverine? The one where
Oh, Logan or the
yeah,
Wolverine?
I liked Logan too, but I like the Wolverine.
The one in Japan?
Yeah.
It's definitely better than Origins. That
Oh
is a
God.
fact. Like it is definitely better than that. So I concur with that. That's a good sequel. But does it count when its predecessor is shit? Because usually what I'm thinking is that the sequel has to be better than the first one had to be good. You know what I mean? For the sequel to be better. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
That's
Back to the Future is a classic, but Back to the Future 2 up the ante a little bit. Just a little bit.
I
I
didn't like
still
Back to the Future too.
really.
It's not my favorite.
Do you like 3?
It's a 3. I like a little better than 2. And I like 1 the best.
I like 1 the
oh
best too,
yeah,
Hillary. I'm not gonna lie.
one's a classic. I mean, you can't get more
Yeah.
classic than that. It's
No,
like
it might be the
it's up
perfect
there
movie.
with like
But
it's
for
up there with
sure,
like Star Wars and
Yeah,
Jurassic Park.
it is. It really is up there with Star Wars for
like
sure.
Back to the Future 2 with that whole like that Vegas-y thing and the hotel and Leah Thompson with her little draggy boob outfit on. It was just like I don't know, depressing and sad and I don't know.
Now, are you gonna ask worse sequels? I'm curious.
Say it again, Billy.
Are you going to ask us about the worst sequels ever made? Because
No.
I have my answer for that
Look,
one.
before okay, so look, we're gonna finish the night off with that, Billy. That's an interesting topic you bring up right there, and that's how I want this thing to go. It might say the Honest Abe Show, but this is all because that's just a cool name. That's the only reason. But other than that, it's all of us. I want y'all to all bring up things when we're talking because I want everybody to be a part of this. And I love talking. But before we get to that, Billy, the worst, I have a couple for that as well. Before we get to the worst, I want to just add a couple more. I think they're worthy sequels. 22 Jump Street, I think is much better to me. They're both good, but the first one, I like the second one better. I don't know if y'all have seen any of those, but man, those movies are great to me. And another one I think is Two Towers and Return of the King. I know it's a continuing story. I get it, but man, you're talking about up in the ante. Like Fellowship of the Ring is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but the Two Towers definitely takes it to another level. Like it takes it to another notch as far as a cinematic viewer. But The Empire Strikes Back, y'all, has to be hands down the greatest sequel ever made. It has to be. I
Agreed.
don't. It,
Yeah,
even maybe rated. I'm not a Raiders of the Lost Ark fan. I think it's a great movie. I no disrespect to it, but I like The Last Crusade better. That's just me. Last Crusade is my favorite Indiana Jones movie, and I'm sticking to that. But so talking about worst sequels, that will be a longer conversation than best. So Billy, the worst sequel of all time, I'm throwing it out there right now: Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
that was pretty bad. Yeah. Well, for me, mine would be Jaws: The Revenge. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Jaws the
The fourth, the fourth, the fourth Jaws movie. Oh my god, that movie is terrible. Because Jaws, the original Jaws, is like a masterpiece,
It
but
is.
The Revenge, the fourth one, is just a dumpster fire. That's the best way I can describe it. Like literally, at one point in the movie, the shark comes out of the water and freaking roars. It's like so.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, like a shark. They gave the shark motives and like intentions and things.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
oh,
It was like the shark was like pissed off at the Brody family or something, right?
it's a shark. Like, hey,
Yeah. And then
okay.
and then the guy's wife was convinced the shark had a vendetta and she went to the Bahamas and then the freaking shark followed her there. It's like, how stupid is this movie?
See, yo, and that's the kind of clip I could chop up and take and put on a post because that just made me almost tear up a little bit, Billy. Thanks, man. The shark followed her to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Okay, baby shark, 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 baby shark, shark, shark. Okay, with that being said, Hillary, Mike, worst sequels. What are you thinking? The worst sequels.
I'll let Hillary
I
go
didn't
first.
get to finish my best sequel.
Oh, Hillary, let's go back to that.
I
Best
have
sequels, please.
Deadpool 2, which is like I like
Hold
Deadpool
on.
2 way better than Deadpool 1.
Now here's the iron meets iron right here. There's no way that Deadpool 2 is better than Deadpool 1.
Oh,
I love
No
Deadpool 2.
way.
I'll agree with
No.
that. Yeah. First one was way better.
I
No
love
way.
Deadpool 1. I love Deadpool 1, don't get me wrong, but I love Deadpool 2.
hey,
Deadpool 2 is good. It has
Hillary,
moments.
please say your Deadpool 2 story with Johanna.
Please. Please. We have to know.
So my bestie, she doesn't like any kind of violence or anything, and yeah, it gives her nightmares for like a week. So she can't watch it. And it wasn't Deadpool 2, it was Deadpool 1, because I knew I couldn't have her watch Deadpool 2 because there's kids in peril and she can't do that. So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
her and her brother and I were like, no, there's no violence in Deadpool 1. There's just that guy with it ends up on the sign and that's it. It's like I black out every bit of violence in Deadpool. And I was like, no, you can watch it. It's fine. You'll like it. And she was traumatized.
My boyfriend told me this was a romantic movie, but that guy just him like a fucking kebab. I think that's the quote from the movie.
That is the
From
quote.
Deadpool.
That is the exact quote in the very beginning of the movie, Billy. That is Hillary, you are the worst friend in the world, man. I gotta say that, man. What that's like saying, oh yeah, you can watch Kill Bill 1. There's no violence in it. No big deal.
Well,
No,
I'm not as bad as her brother because her brother told her, oh, you can watch Inglourious Bastards.
no. You can watch Inglourious Bastards until like the final scene where it's just nothing but blood. It's like
the scene where they're shooting in the very opening when the family is hiding.
oh, Shoshana when they're shooting in the floorboards.
Yeah, neither of us made it past that point.
but you're not a Tarantino person anyway.
No.
Like, I mean, that's something you always pass up on when we bring up the category. You say you just don't. Yeah. You don't even have the urge to watch a Tarantino film, do you?
No.
Doesn't.
I can dig it. I can understand it. Hey, it's not for everybody. My sister doesn't like excessive violence, but for some reason, she'll sit here and watch Mortal Kombat 11 fatalities on YouTube with me all day. I'm like, okay, you won't watch Glorious Bastards, but you'll watch the fatalities with me all day. Okay.
Me and a friend of mine were talking about that, like how Mortal Kombat now, the fatalities are so over the top now. When you go back and look at the originals, like the arcade version from back in the 90s, they look so, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess simple.
Rudimentary?
Rudimentary, yeah. Like back in the day, like seeing Scorpion rip somebody's spine out was horrifying.
It was amazing.
It was kind of laughable now.
Dude, I was 13 years old. It was amazing. I'd never seen somebody get their head punched off in a video game. It was the best thing ever. But now the fatalities are like movies, 2 minutes, a whole 2-minute fatality where it's like, let me rip your skin off, then take that skin and go chop it up into little pieces, then paste it back together, put it back on you just to rip it off again. Like, that's the new Mortal Kombat. So it's but Hillary, so you say you said Deadpool 2. I'm going back to that for a second. Deadpool 2 to me just tried to recreate everything Deadpool 1 did, but just over the top with it. And it just wasn't for me. I really didn't like it at all. Like I'm not a fan. I like Domino. I thought she was amazing. Juggernaut was wasted. And that's the second time that's happened in movies for me. That was another reason I didn't like it. I'm like, y'all keep playing with my guy. He's like one of my favorite villains, and they keep playing with him.
He was wasted.
It was like, oh my goodness. But I will say, yeah, the first Deadpool is just special. I don't think anybody was expecting it. It came out of nowhere. Oh, Mike just said a bunch. Caddyshack 2. These are worst, right, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm about to say, okay, Caddyshack 2, Speed 2, the whole 10 yards.
Airplane 2. Let's throw that one out there.
Airplane 2. Now you say Daddy Day Camp. What's the first Daddy Day Camp movie?
Daddy Daycare.
Daddy Daycare.
Got you. I've never seen either of those movies. So
With the Daddy Daycare, I think they went with Cuba Gooding Jr. as opposed to Eddie Murphy, who was in Daddy Daycare.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
he was
big-
recast in Camp.
So Camp was Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
automatic downgrade. Even though I'm not gonna lie, even though I do like Snow Dogs, don't hold it against me. I think Snow Dogs is a beautiful movie. That's just me. And another one, Fighting Temptations. But worst sequels, Ninja Turtles 3, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Once again, these are some of the ones I'm gonna bring up. What's another worst sequel? Oh, Jurassic Park. Now, Billy, you're a Jurassic Park reader, but The Lost World.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
And Billy's
yeah.
look, Billy's probably got it right here on deck. Billy's a Jurassic Park reader, so I know that he likes Michael
Yep,
Crichton.
right here.
Yep.
Yep.
I
right
know
here.
Billy likes Michael Crichton, so I knew you liked him. The Lost World was. I know it's based on a book, but it's awful compared to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the original Jurassic Park is a masterpiece, and
Yes.
just The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, both of them are just like just I won't say awful, but just
Three's better than
not-
2. I think 3's
Yeah, I
better than
will
2.
agree. Three is much better than 2, but The Lost World is just ugh.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, when they made him the main guy, that was the issue. I love me some Jeff Goldblum. Don't get me wrong, but him being
And the Lost World is like the movie is very loosely based on the book. So
Okay.
I mean, even then, it's not it's not like a 1-to-1 adaptation. So
okay. Because I'm not a fan of that, but I did like Jurassic World. I thought that was pretty good.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Now, Mike,
and
I didn't see the last one though. What was it called?
Fallen
Jurassic
Kingdom.
World 2?
Fallen Kingdom.
I didn't see that one. Was that any good?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. Honestly, it felt more like Resident Evil at times than Jurassic Park, though. But
Hey, Billy, look, I know we're going a lot longer than I expected, y'all, but Mike is just over here texting me on the chat. So many bad sequels. I'm looking at them all now, like I don't know which one's the worst. So Mike sent me this, y'all. Mike, I disagree with Hangover 2. I don't think it's better than the first one, but I like it. You know what I mean? But I laugh at it. I think it's now 3. I don't like.
I was gonna write that. I was just about to write that.
No, 3 is awful, but 2 is the one where Stu marries the Asian girl, right?
The transgender girl.
Well, no, he ends up messing with the transgender girl in Bangkok. He does, but he marries a girl into like an Asian family, and the father compares him to Juke, that like soft stuff that babies eat. I think that's one of my favorite scenes. He's like, what is his name? Stu? He's like, Stu, you are Juke. Okay, Mike also said Basic Instinct 2. Mike, of course. Of course. I mean, of course.
I said earlier, Airplane 2. That one was just.
I don't think I've ever seen it, Billy.
So have you seen the original Airplane?
Of course. I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
I mean, so Airplane 2, like the original, like the creative team behind Airplane had no involvement with Airplane 2. I don't think they've even ever seen it before. So the creators have never even sat down and watched it. So it's just, yeah. Airplane 2 is kind of a retrend of the original, but it does some things on its own.
Dude, see, I never even had the urge to watch Airplane 2. Who's in Airplane 2 anyways? The same cast?
Yeah, it's the same cast.
Leslie Nielsen's in it too?
Yeah. Well, I think he's the only one. There was one person who didn't reprise the role, and I think it was him. I think it was Leslie Nielsen.
Dude, Mike is, y'all, see, look, on the next podcast, not the next one, but in the next month or two, I'm going to have it where it'll be a better setup where y'all could see the chat at the same time. And you can see what Mike's saying, because Mike is saying like great ones. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Mike, look at Hillary's face. Oh my goodness. See, oh my goodness. Yes, like, dude.
Exist. That's horrible.
Mike, I was still living in Florida when that came out, and I was anticipating it heavily. I'm not gonna lie.
What,
I went and watched
2008?
it. It was
right?
like it was
That was
08, it was 08, 09. One around that.
late 2000s.
Yes,
I was
definitely.
still in high school.
It was like 08, 09. I worked at Ruby Tuesday. I wasn't a manager yet. I was just a cook. I was a chef. And I got off of work with my homie. He was taking me home. I didn't have a car. He was taking me home. And he was like, hey, you want to go watch that new Indiana Jones movie? It was a Thursday night. I said, yeah, let's go watch it. Yeah, let's do that, bro. And we like went and smoked and watched it. And I swear, I was like, when he got in that refrigerator with the nuclear bomb in the very beginning, I wanted to walk out right then because I was already tired. Like we've been at work 8 hours. I was like, we could leave now, dude. But we ended up finishing watching it, and I was like, wow, that was one of the worst things I ever seen in my life. Um, wow. Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, Mike. Don't make fun of me, but I like it because I was a kid. I like it. It's a TBS classic. It came on late at night. I like it. It's not good though. It's not good.
Stole a hair. That's the whole thing, right?
The
They
hair,
stole
bro.
a hair.
The hair. He stole the hair, bro, and that's how he gets. Nuclear Man is his name, with long fingernails that scratch you.
I
Like
can't
it.
believe I can't believe nobody said Matrix 2 and 3.
I put,
Hillary, Mike. The next thing I was
Horrible.
about to say, my friend, was Mike
Horrible.
put the worst sequels ever. Quote Mike. Quote the worst sequel ever. Matrix 2 and 3. End quote. That is from Mike himself.
Did you do
Yeah.
that, Mike? Because I did that exact same thing.
no, that's
No,
from
no,
that's from
excuse
Hillary.
me. That Hillary sent me that. Hillary, you sent me that, not
I
Mike.
put I put Matrix
Yeah,
Revolution.
yes, Hillary, you sent me that. It says Mexican chocolate. You sent me that, Hillary. So Hillary said worst sequel ever, Matrix 2 and 3, quote unquote. Um,
The
look,
first was so amazing, and you so anticipated the story going on, and then even like you're like, okay, Matrix 2, okay, that was bad, but it was the second movie, but they're gonna wrap it up, and it's gonna be really good in Matrix 3, and you're gonna at least get the end of the story, and yeah, and it was like, no, I don't care, just blow all these people up, just end it.
you didn't know that
I got another one here.
there were six other the ones before Neo. You didn't know that. So everything he did didn't really matter, but whatever. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm with you on
How
that.
about Son of the Mask? How about that one?
Mike sent me Son of the Mask. Billy, Mike sent me that on his list.
Play
That
the match
movie,
game.
that movie does not
That movie
count.
was
You can't even count it. No, that doesn't
Jim
even
Carrey's
count.
not even in it.
No, that's like no, like same as Independence Day 2. I mean, it
Counts.
it does count, Mike, because it is two. It literally is two. Well, it's called something else. What is it called? Like Resurgence or
Yeah, Resurgence.
yeah, some crap like that. I mean, but it's just like, oh, it does count. And if you count it, man, but Speed 2 definitely counts. And that movie is awful. Awful. Speed 2. Jason Patrick is no Keanu Reeves. But there's one I have to give Mike a little pushback on, just a little bit, and it's this, Mike. Blues Brothers 2000. Now, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. It's not good. I'm not debating that. It's not. I'm not debating that. It's not good. But man, I'm such a Blues Brothers fan, man. And you know what? I take that back, Mike. Forget my debate. It's awful. It's because the first Blues Brothers is that's like one of my favorite movies. My dad used to watch it when I was a kid. I love that movie. It's amazing. Yeah. So forget what I said. Blues Brothers 2000. Fart
They,
noise. Awful.
they were completely different movies, like you were saying before
There were
earlier.
they're two different movies. I mean, not even close.
Because
Blues Brothers is a musical.
yeah, they had a confidence in the first one, like, but nobody else had confidence in them. But in the second one, I mean, nobody had a doubt what they were going to do. So it
That's
was
yeah. I agree 100%. Like that's the point. Y'all, we talked about some just geeky stuff tonight, just geek stuff. I think I saw a couple of clips I can take. Look, if you go on Super Geek Trivia Fights on YouTube, I've already started to post whole matches of our games on there. I haven't promoted it because I want to build it up and try to get things to look more professional. But they're there now. If you go to Super Geek Trivia Fights on YouTube, you can watch a whole match of our games. At least one's on there. I know for a fact. I'm gonna load more, but this will be on something else. And whoa, hold on. I was just about to finish, but Hillary just disrespected the whole club right now. You just disrespected the whole club. Gold member? Gold
whoa.
member's amazing. Look at Bill.
What?
I wish you could.
What?
I wish we could all see Billy's face at the same time. Like
Yeah.
when I post the recording, we can't see all of ours at the same time. Zoom won't let me do that. It won't see the view we're seeing now. But so they'll only see us when we talk. When I post the video. But I wish you could have seen Bill's reaction to gold member. That was classic. What? I love gold. The smell, the taste, the texture. I once lost my genitalia in a smelting accident. Hits the name. Gold member.
Back the pain.
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
know, you freaky Dutch bastard.
Thank you. Thank you. Smoking a pancake, smoking a pancake, bonging a blitz. There's no pleasing you. The movie's amazing, Hillary. Goldmember might be the best of the Austin Powers movies. It literally might. I mean, it literally might. I mean, we didn't. So we need to go back to best sequels and say Goldmember because man, Goldmember is what? Fat bastard. He lost like what? He lost like 150 pounds, 200 pounds on a Subway diet. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
That
Yeah.
joke hasn't aged well, has it?
Well, no, it has not. Anything to do with Jared has not aged well.